Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another Cursed podcast with the Foundry. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Today we brought you something new to the table.
Yeah, we got a special guest here. We got Tony over there. You're your original host here, Kylo, or Gravedigger. I am JB, or 97 Johnny Boy. And yeah, so Kylo chose today's case. Kylo, what are we investigating today?
We're investigating Banshees.
Ooh, spooky Banshees.
We all got our notes, right?
Yeah, I got my notes. I actually wrote quite a bit about this Banshee because I had no idea what the fuck we were going to. I honestly was a little irritated with your choice because I was like, what the fuck am I gonna write about a goddamn Banshee? And there was a little bit about there's more like religious aspects to it that I wasn't like expecting with like Gaelic stuff, you know, and which that I thought was the most interesting thing. But there's no like there was a post. So get this, guys, Banshee sightings down 100%.
When's the last time a Banshee's been seen?
There's not a lot of deaths this year.
Let me tell you what, that Banshee dropped way down below Sasquatch, boys. Anyways, Kyle, I'll let you take the hat here, man.
All right, so the Banshee is considered to be an omen of death. Normally, a family member or the person that is about to die would see or hear the Banshee. And there's like several cases where like people would see like a haggard old woman on like the street in like proper
Nasty
clothes.
Yep.
Because normally they wear like dresses or something like that, something proper, and they would constantly break down into crying and then start to screech, and then on one-on-one accounts they would normally disappear and leave the person wondering what the fuck just happened, or they would just witness it and it's just a woman breaking down in the middle of the street or something like that, or out in the woods. Normally they are spotted in the woods or like heavy forest areas. That is where they like to roam. I found that the word banshee was a Irish term for, I'm probably going to butcher the shit out of this, literally all I got was bean-s. It was just bean-s.
Is that Gaelic?
I do not know. But literally it translates into...
Beans.
Bean
Really?
ass.
My dog never plays with a motherfucking toy, and look at his ass. What are you doing, motherfucker?
Be quiet, Bean-ass.
Okay.
So the word
Back on track
bean-s,
here. Yeah, bean-s.
it translates into the woman of the fairy mounds. And
Yeah, I saw like a lot of things like connections like to fairies, like other like just Irish like folklore and stuff like that. Cute as fuck, dude. Yeah, so the you talked about a little bit of the forms, but apparently Banshees, they have multiple forms. I'm gonna go off some of the forms that you may be able to see. So a beautiful woman wearing a shroud. That's the main one. Or a pale woman in a white dress, long red hair. Red hair, Irish, you know. A woman with a long silver dress and silver hair. This is a creepy one. A headless woman carrying a bowl of blood that is naked from the waist up.
I never heard about that, a bowl of blood.
Made it up. I'm just kidding. No.
You sold me on it.
Bowl of blood.
I just made up all my fucking notes about it. Also, if you kill it, it's someone's Godzilla. That's a joke. An old woman with frightening red eyes, a green dress, and long white hair. And last one, an old woman with a veil covering her face, dressed in all black with long and gray hair. So like, generally they're just like different variations of a girl, like just wearing long clothing and just kind of covering her face, looking spooky as fuck. But I guess like not all banshees are seen as ill or like villainous. They're like not all hate-filled, I guess, or full of anger. That there are some that watch over certain families that was connected to like of the family member who died. So when the Banshee manifests itself, they appear as beautiful, enchanting women that sing a sorrow, kind of like a siren, you know. But as you come in closer and you come closer to it, like it becomes
Scream.
yes, a scream, a dangerous one, I guess. And like I said, it's connected to like a lot of mythology. So, like, I don't really see the Banshees as a cryptid. I see it as more of like a folklore, like we did with episode 2 with the Japanese yokai.
Yeah.
That's why I see this like as it's a religious myth. You know, it's like Christ. You know.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah.
Why you look at me like that? Why are you laughing?
Christ is that was a real person.
Really? I didn't know that.
They wrote a book about him. He's got to be real.
Did you have to add in that like Christ part?
I couldn't think of any other like religious shit. Like hang on.
Archangels.
Yeah,
there you
like
go.
angels.
Okay, there you
yeah,
go.
there you go.
That's better because I was
Thank
like,
you.
I think Jesus Christ was real. Him being the son of God, I don't think so. But you know, he probably did a couple magic tricks, convinced some people. You know,
Yeah. Voila.
wine into water.
Nail. Whoop. So it's a female spirit in Irish mythology who heralds the death of the family member, usually by wailing, shrieking, or keening. And you guys have heard the term keening before?
No.
I've
That's how
heard
you
it,
pronounce it. Oh, all right, Gene. It's big brain. What's keening mean?
I just said I've heard it. I don't know what it is.
You don't know? Okay. So it's part of mourning, an old like Irish tradition. So apparently women back in the old days in Ireland, they were hired to keen. It was part like of a ritual, a burial ritual, as that they will ask people to
Basically weep for their dead ones.
yes, so like that keeners were active around the 8th century. Sometimes after the 8th century, their popularity began to fade, but their legend lived on as banshees. So it's like something that was actually real got kind of like turned and fictionalized as a creature, it seems, because like by the 14th century, banshees lore was like in full outbreak, and like we found like Irish, Scottish, Norman literature during the century. By the 15th century, it's big belief that in banshees was so widespread that was like such a widespread that even the King James I of Scotland reported encountering one of them. So it's like they started out as like something real and part of like an actual like burial ritual, which I can understand. Like it was before they said that like banshees are connected to the death of a family member, you know, as in keeners were also connected in a way, but they were mourning them, and they would stand outside like people's homes and weep for them and like sing songs, and this was part of the burial. But it seems like it kind of got twisted, or it's like evil spirit version.
Yeah,
Which is really strange.
I found that in a lot of cases that the death of like I don't know how to say this, I guess like most virtue family member that was a woman, often seen when another family member in that tree was about to die, they would see that woman weeping for him and crying, and then again eventually screaming and then gone.
I got a couple when I was researching. I hit the bottom of the Google page, and it says other like banshee like terms in the top searches, and I'm gonna hand this over to Tony. Tony, you want to read these top like 10 banshee searches?
Yeah. Okay. So the
Oh my god.
They're great. Some of them are really fucking funny.
That first one's stupid.
fading away here. There isn't a lot of detail about banshees.
Right here,
Oh,
right here.
so
What's number one?
Banshee Facts. How to become a banshee. Banshee scream.
How to become a banshee.
Oh, Banshee powers. You don't know how to spell powers. Banshee powers. How to get rid of a banshee. What does a banshee sound like? Male banshee.
You know, imagine like what does banshee sound like? It's like Dumb and Dumber. It's like you want to hear the most annoying sound in the world.
Yeah. And then Banshee Manster,
I love
which is
that.
a new flavor of the monster.
Banshee.
No, monster flavor.
Hear the flavor.
Yeah.
I love that. How to become a banshee.
That is so fucking stupid.
I love that so much.
Was it like how to fly a banshee?
So why don't we go over some of the strengths of the banshee?
Okay.
Yeah. What does the banshee do, boys?
The only thing I really have for
Swallow your
strength
soul.
is come to mourn one of the family members that another one of your family members is close and or very near death. I didn't know it had strengths or weaknesses, honestly.
Yeah.
You
So,
talk about that guy whenever he was this dad dying and the Banshee came in, and then it was like held his hand or something. You said he was dying in his deathbed?
we have a couple accounts here
we'll get to that
of
in
like
a
minute.
some eyewitness accounts and first accounts like from people. So one account from the 1900s, a member of a family was in Cork, which is a town, and was part of a esteemed family, and they apparently were plagued by the Banshee on multiple occasions, a couple incidents. So this is a quote from her. My mother, a young girl, was standing in the house at Black Rock, Cork. She suddenly saw a white figure standing on the bridge, which was easily visible from the house. The figure waved her arms towards the house, and my mother heard the bitter wailing of the Banshee. It lasted some seconds, and then the figure disappeared. By the next morning, my grandfather was walking as usual into the city of Cork. He accidentally fell and hit his head against the curbs, and died. So they think that the Banshee being out in the street,
Sort of caused his death.
yeah, or
That didn't help at all.
in some cases they think it's a harbinger of death as well, where it's like, yo, this guy's gonna die soon. Yikes, or be careful, or something like that. And like you said, only a specific family member or certain person of that family will be able to hear that scream. And so, so I have another story, same quote person. In March 1900, my mother was very ill, and one evening, nurse and I were arranging her bed. We suddenly heard the most severe wailing, which seemed to come in waves around and under her bed. We naturally looked everywhere to try to find where the wailing was from. But they couldn't find anything. So she looked at the nurse, and the nurse looked at her, and made no remark. They just looked at each other. As my mother did not seem to hear it, so she just laid in the bed with no effect at all, just not hearing anything. My sister was downstairs sitting with my father. She heard it and thought some terrible thing happened to her son on a different floor who was in bed upstairs, who he heard it. She rushed up and found him asleep. My father did not hear it. In the house next door, they heard it, so the neighbors even checked in. And here's the creepy part: is that the servant of the house replied, "Did you hear the Banshee, Miss P? Did you hear the Banshee? Miss P must be dying."
Who's Miss P?
The mother.
Woman in the bed.
Oh, okay.
The mother. So that's
So
a little
she's
fucking
turning
creepy.
into a Banshee as she was dying?
No, I think the Banshee was
The harbinger of death? Like
Yes.
Grim Reaper?
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, so, I saw that Banshee sightings down 100%. So, here are some of the strengths of the Banshee we were talking about. It's possible the Banshee touch could have a dangerous, perhaps even fatal effect on the living. However, this has never been proven. Imagine that. Seems to be a pacifist spirit.
For reasons unknown.
Unless it's Fable 2.
Get out. Also, apparently, it's got a couple weaknesses as well, which I don't know where this has come from, but we found it on the internet. Where the fuck did people there's no stories of back in the old days, in 1509, King
The
Blah,
Great
blah, blah.
Banshee War!
Yeah, there's none of that. There's no stories about it. It's yo, I saw a lady, she was out in the street, and then the next day, my granddad died. It's okay, must have been a Banshee.
Can I read the
yeah.
weaknesses?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You got the Banshee. You got the
Okay.
weaknesses. I don't understand. At the end of each episode, we decide, we bring the hammer down, we take our investigative powers and we put them to good use. We put our reputation on the line as paranormal investigators, and we decide if this case, if it's fact, and, if it's faked, if it's true or not,
Paranormal investigators.
that's what we're doing. We're investigating the paranormal, son. And we decide if this thing is true or not. I already know what the fuck I'm gonna say. I mean, you have no evidence to convince me that the Banshee's real. Tony's got no evidence, which I already knew that was gonna be the case here. I just don't think I came into this.
Hey!
I was really delayed.
I know!
I don't know. I got a couple accounts here that might change your mind.
Okay.
I drew a eyesight picture from the last time I've seen a Banshee.
Is it from Fable?
Look Show me that Banshee. That's a cool Banshee. Did you see the Banshee?
I did see the Banshee.
No, did he see the? Did you see the Banshee, Sean? Look at that Banshee.
I did see the
Sean.
Banshee. That Banshee was cool.
Look at it. Yeah.
The Banshee was cool as fuck.
Look at that Banshee, boy. Look at the Banshee.
Yeah, it's a cool Banshee.
It looks like the Grim Reaper.
At those.
Uh,
Anyways, weaknesses, please.
So, cold forged iron. Just cold forged iron, though. No other type of iron can hurt a Banshee. Salt. It's a repellent, but it won't kill it. It's pure, which repels denizens of the spirit world, because obviously it's like a harbinger of death. It's not good. And then bones. So like, if a Banshee was once a human, but not all Banshees are humans.
Also, the bones are their money.
Yeah. And the worms are their dollars.
Okay.
They'll pull on your hair up but not out. They just want another chance at life. They've never seen as much food as this. And so...
Okay, go back, rewind.
Why are my teeth green? So...
We have the worst fucking setup ever.
And so... if a Banshee was once a human, and they not all were, they may be able to be put to rest by finding their bones, their remains from when they were once human, and then you can salt and burn them. And then I put a little cliff note here. Long story short, the bitches don't like salt. So
Hey guys, what's going on?
Carry around salt packets.
yeah. Or don't shower. And if they touch you, fuck, that dude's salty.
That dude's salty.
So I got an interesting account right here with a Banshee. So there was this man that was deathly ill. Tony was talking about this a little bit earlier. He was in his bed.
What's wrong with him?
He was ill, deathly ill.
Yeah, deathly ill. That was about all he said.
He was ill, definitely ill.
He was. I got it right
He
here.
wasn't eating his Irish supplied potatoes.
He was bedridden and had a deadly disease. That's it. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, so he was bedridden. He was
Disease that makes you dead.
in this room for a long time, just lying there, when a fluster of crows go by, and he hears a repetitive knocking on the door. And literally, it's just going crazy, just and at first he thought it was just one of the visitors that were there to see him. And he just sees this woman, like all tattered and gray, walking in, and she comes to sit on the bed, and she starts bawling right in front of him, and she grabs his hands, and the second she grabs his hand, she just screams, and then she disappears, and he doesn't know what the hell happened.
That's some sleep paralysis stuff right there. That would terrify me.
By morning, he woke up dead.
You did that on purpose, you motherfucker.
I did.
Kyler? How do you wake up dead?
You can't wake up dead unless you're already dead in the first place.
Oh, fuck. That's really funny. But, that's, so, it didn't kill him like on impact?
No, the
On
Banshee didn't,
impact.
the Banshee didn't harm him at all. Like the second
What are you talking about? It grabbed him and screamed in his face.
it grabbed its hands, like it was, I don't know, really calmly, and then just starts to scream, and then she was gone, just vanished right there.
Where'd you get the story from? If he died.
The internet.
And he
internet
died?
died.
Who the fuck did he tell the crows? He's like, Crow, tell my story. Remember
Okay,
me.
look, the man's name was Internet Explorer, alright? I don't know what year he died, but it died.
Like, it's a really interesting story, but there's like, did he tell somebody right before he died? Like, that had to be the only
All I
thing.
have is the location of where it happened.
Where? Ireland?
Old Howard Street, next to a cemetery.
Old Howard
Old
Street.
Howard Street.
I swear to God, that's
a
what it
state,
fucking
a country, a continent, maybe?
Ireland. It happened in Ireland.
Ireland.
Old Howard.
Oh, Howard Street.
Oh, fuck me, that's funny. That's great. I think it's a really interesting case, just because there's like so much going on, and there's just like so much back and forth of like what's going on with this creature. It's like it's pacifist, and Kyler's story, it's like, yeah, it fucking murdered a dude.
It didn't murder a dude.
It just held its
Oh,
hand.
so you think he died from his illness?
From his ill?
Okay.
I do have another interesting story. I feel like this is a story your dentist tells you. But anyway, so there was this father that let me see.
He was a drinker.
Hit a fiend. Anyway, in a bogside where a grandfather was living, he had a constant toothache, and he never went by the dentist like for a long period of time, just constant toothache. And his grandson, one of his grandsons, was walking down the street one night where he saw a figure just bawling, and he thought, okay, maybe this is just some child, really short, nothing to worry about. Just kept on walking until it faced him, and he saw it was a old woman crying unbelievably, and then started to screech, and yet again disappeared. The son knew that it was a banshee, so he tried to rush home as fast as he can to get his grandfather to go to the dentist, but before he could make it there,
So he knew. He's like, oh fuck, the banshee's gonna kill him.
his grandfather died.
From what?
Cavities.
Tooth pain. I really don't know. He just died from his toothache.
Gingivitis.
Do people not like check this, man? It's just like someone just shows like someone's just dead, and they're like, or something. They're like, we don't need to check for a cause of death. It doesn't matter. They're dead now. It's like, oh, what killed? What? How'd he die? Ah, the banshee out there. Ah, the banshee.
Fucking
Old Howard Street.
Banshee ate his bone.
Banshee ate my baby.
All right. Well, I think that's a wrap. Do you guys have any more information on this?
Yeah,
on
Tony,
this
I think you
banshee?
got one more thing.
Oh yeah, so this, I drew a picture of a banshee.
Didn't we just talk about this like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah,
He
but,
devoted like 5 minutes to that.
yeah, like, here, there's the banshee. Look at it.
Ah, my banshee. Ah. Or, ooh,
Okay, well, yeah, this was a good episode, Kyler. A surprising topic. I learned a lot about some Irish tradition, some Gaelic stuff as well. So it comes down to it, guys. Banshee?
Real.
No.
No, it's not real.
It was in Fable 2. It has to be real.
No, it's not real. It's not real. So is Jesus Christ.
He was in Fable 2 also.
Tony, Banshee?
No.
Not real?
No.
Yeah. So Kyler, you're willing to put your reputation as a paranormal investigator on the line and say that banshees are real?
You think I won't dress up in tattered clothes outside your house just to scream
That doesn't
at
make
you?
it real. That's just you being a jackass outside my house.
It's real enough, alright?
Okay, well, all right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's
Is it real for you?
two no's, one yes. That's where we are. We'll be back next episode of more on the Curse Podcast.